Welcome back to the channel Coins Collector everyone to another exciting episode on the channel. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of United States coinage, and this video is going to be one of the most exciting episodes yet. We are exploring the incredible story behind the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar coin, a piece of history that is not only celebrated for its patriotic design but has also stunned the numismatic world with its astonishing current market value. Believe it or not, some examples of this coin have been valued as high as $992,000. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $1 million for a single half-dollar that was once used in everyday change. Before we dive into the numbers and the history, let us take a step back and appreciate what makes this coin so special. The year 1976 was no ordinary year for the United States. It marked the bicentennial celebration, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. To honor this monumental event, the United States Mint released special commemorative designs on quarters, half-dollars, and dollar coins. These coins were not just currency, they were symbols of pride, heritage, and national unity during the bicentennial festivities. The Kennedy half-dollar was one of the coins chosen to bear a unique design for this celebration. The regular Kennedy half-dollar had already become a beloved piece since its first release in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. But for the bicentennial years of 1975 and 1976, the Mint introduced a special reverse design created by Seth G. Huntington. This design featured Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the historic building where the Declaration of Independence was signed. On the front, of course, remained the familiar and dignified profile of President Kennedy, sculpted by Gilroy Roberts. What makes the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar stand out is that it is a coin that was produced for only a limited period of time. Every single one of these bicentennial coins carried a dual date of 1776 to 1976, marking the 200th anniversary of independence. Unlike most coins which have a single-year date, this dual date gives the coin a sense of commemorative prestige. Millions were struck, but within that massive production, rare varieties, mint errors, and high-grade examples emerged that today can be worth staggering amounts. Now you may be asking yourself, how could a coin that was struck by the millions ever be worth close to $1 million? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. While hundreds of millions of bicentennial quarters, half-dollars, and dollar coins were minted, only a tiny fraction have survived in pristine condition. Even fewer were struck in special varieties such as proof issues or coins made with a silver-clad composition instead of the standard copper-nickel. Collectors are always hunting for the best of the best, and when a coin appears that is not only rare but also holds historical importance, the price can skyrocket. The Denver Mint played a huge role in producing the bicentennial half-dollar. Coins with a small d mint mark beneath Kennedy's profile were struck in Denver, and among these issues, certain examples have captured the imagination of collectors. A pristine Denver Mint bicentennial half-dollar, perfectly preserved, with sharp strikes and flawless luster, can command extraordinary sums at auction. The coin that made headlines by reaching a valuation of $992,000 was exactly that kind of coin. It was an almost mythical example, combining immaculate condition with immense historical and patriotic appeal. The value of coins is not just determined by metal content, although that is part of the story. It is primarily determined by rarity, demand, and the story behind the coin. With the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar, you have a coin that ties directly into the birth of the nation, a coin that every American recognizes, and one that collectors worldwide seek to add to their collections. The fact that it features the Kennedy design only adds to the popularity, since Kennedy coins are among the most collected series in modern American numismatics. Let us not forget that the bicentennial celebration itself was one of the grandest in American history. Parades, fireworks, monuments, and commemorations swept the nation. Millions of Americans tucked away their bicentennial coins as souvenirs, never realizing that some of these coins would become highly prized treasures decades later. The half-dollar in particular, with its depiction of Independence Hall, carries an aura of dignity and national pride that resonates with collectors to this day. Fast forward to the present and we see how the market has grown. As younger collectors join the hobby and older generations pass down their collections, demand for key coins has soared. The bicentennial half-dollar has transformed from pocket change to prized collectible, with rare examples hitting record prices. The current market value of the highest graded and most exceptional example has reached $992,000, placing it among the most valuable modern American coins ever sold. Now here is where the story gets even more fascinating. For the average collector, most 1776 to 1976 half-dollars found in circulation are still worth their face value of 50 cents. Even slightly worn coins hold only sentimental value. But for the collector who stumbles across a high-grade, uncirculated coin, especially one struck in silver or one with a striking error, the value could jump into the hundreds or thousands of dollars. It is a reminder that history is sometimes hiding in plain sight, sitting in a drawer, a jar of change, or even in a forgotten roll of coins from the bank. So what should you look for? First, examine the condition. Coins with no wear, sharp details, and brilliant luster are always worth more. Second, check for the mint mark. Coins from Denver with the D mint mark and coins from San Francisco with the S mint mark, especially silver-clad proof issues, can be highly valuable. Third, keep an eye out for errors. Double strikes, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value. The excitement of coin collecting is not only about value but also about the journey. Every coin tells a story. The 1776 to 1976 half-dollar tells the story of a nation celebrating 200 years of freedom. It tells the story of President Kennedy's enduring legacy. It tells the story of the mint's artistry and craftsmanship. And now it tells the story of incredible auction records that have pushed this coin into the spotlight once again. So when you hear that a half-dollar has sold for nearly $1 million, you realize that coin collecting is not just about metal and minting. It is about history, culture, and passion. The bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar captures all of that in one shining piece of silver and copper nickel. As we continue this video, we are going to break down even more details about how to spot valuable bicentennial coins, what factors drive their market price, and how you can start your own search. Because who knows, maybe sitting in your coin jar or in an inherited collection is a treasure worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and let us uncover together the incredible story of the 1776 to 1976 D half-dollar. This is more than just a coin, it is a piece of American history that is now worth big money. Today we are diving into a truly fascinating story from the world of American coin collecting. Get ready because this episode is about a very ordinary-looking coin that hides an extraordinary secret. We are talking about the 1995 P half-dollar from the United States Mint. At first glance you might think this coin is just pocket change. It is a Kennedy half-dollar with the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse side and the presidential seal on the reverse side. But the deeper you look, the more incredible the story becomes. Collectors across the world know that certain dates, certain mint marks and certain errors can transform a common coin into a life-changing treasure. That is exactly the case here. Some examples of the 1995 P half-dollar have been valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, the market has seen figures that soar all the way up to $881,000. Imagine pulling a half-dollar out of an old jar in your garage and realizing it is worth more than most houses. That is the magic of numismatics, and that is why this story is worth telling. Before we explore the eye-popping values, let us set the stage with a bit of history. The half-dollar denomination has been a part of American coinage since the very beginning. But the Kennedy half-dollar series was introduced in 1964 as a tribute to the fallen president only months after his assassination. The nation was still mourning and the mint acted quickly to redesign the coin. The obverse features the profile of Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts and the reverse shows the presidential seal designed by Frank Gasparo. This design has remained in use for decades and is still familiar to us today. By the 1990s, the Kennedy half-dollar was not widely circulating in everyday commerce. Most people rarely saw them in their change. Production numbers were lower than earlier decades, but millions were still struck each year. That included the 1995 series struck at multiple mint locations including Philadelphia, which is where the 1995p comes from. Now why would a coin from this year be so special? The answer lies in the combination of scarcity, condition, and collector demand. While the 1995p half-dollar in worn condition might only be worth face value, there are rare varieties and mint state examples that tell a very different story. Collectors prize coins that are struck sharply, that have no scratches, and that carry a brilliant luster. When such a coin is discovered, it can grade extremely high on professional grading scales. That is when the value skyrockets. A normal 1995p Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition might only sell for 50 cents or maybe $1 or $2 if someone is casually collecting. But in pristine mint state 67, 68, or even higher, the price explodes. These top-graded coins are the ones that auction houses love to feature and the ones that can fetch life-changing sums. So how does the figure of $881,000 come into play? Well, certain rare examples have sold for extraordinary amounts when collectors battled fiercely at auction. The reason is simple. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and demand rule everything. If only a handful of coins survive in such immaculate condition, then every serious collector with deep pockets will want to own one. The bidding wars push the price higher and higher until someone finally secures it. That is why a coin with a face value of 50 cents can suddenly be worth the price of a luxury home. Think about the journey of such a coin. It was minted in Philadelphia in 1995, struck on a copper nickel-clad planchet, released into circulation, and somehow preserved without ever taking a scratch. For decades it sat untouched, maybe in a collector's set, maybe in a forgotten bank roll. Then one day it emerged, was sent to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, and received a grade so high that collectors gasped. Suddenly it became one of the finest known examples in existence. That status alone makes it incredibly valuable. Coin collectors love the concept of population rarity, which means how many coins are known to exist in a certain grade. If only 1 or 2 coins are graded that highly, then their value is beyond measure. But it is not only about condition. There are also varieties and potential errors that can transform the 1995p half-dollar into a treasure. Mint errors are accidents during the striking process, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. Collectors absolutely love these because they are unique. No two mint errors are exactly the same. A dramatic error combined with a high grade can send the value soaring. Some examples of the 1995p half-dollar with unique features have stunned the market. That is how we reached that incredible $881,000 valuation. So what should you do if you come across a 1995p half-dollar? The first step is to examine it carefully. Look at the luster, look at the strike, check if it looks uncirculated. If it appears flawless, do not spend it. Place it in a protective holder and consider submitting it to a grading service. Even if it does not reach the very top population grade, it can still be worth far more than face value. Even mid-level mint state coins can bring in respectable sums. Another important detail is provenance. Some of these record-breaking coins were part of famous collections that already had prestige. When such a coin comes up for sale, the pedigree adds to its allure. Collectors know they are not only buying a coin but also a piece of numismatic history. That adds more fuel to the bidding fire. Now let us look at the broader coin market. In recent years, rare coins have attracted both collectors and investors. People see them as tangible assets that hold value across generations. Unlike paper money or stocks, a coin is a physical piece of history that you can hold in your hand. It connects us to the past while also carrying significant financial potential. That is why when a coin like the 1995p half-dollar appears in top grade, it makes headlines. News spreads across the numismatic community and beyond. It inspires people to check their own change jars, to dig through their parents' coin collections, and to wonder if they might also have a hidden fortune. Imagine the emotional impact of discovering that an ordinary coin you overlooked is worth nearly $900,000. It would change your life overnight. That is why these stories are so powerful and why they capture our imagination. As we continue in this video, we will break down the details of how to identify the valuable versions of the 1995p half dollar, what grading companies look for, and how to safely store and protect coins that might be valuable. We will also explore auction records and show you examples of coins that sold for jaw-dropping prices. This will help you understand exactly how the market works and why certain coins soar while others remain common. So welcome back once again. Buckle up and stay tuned because this is more than just a history lesson. This is a treasure hunt that begins in your own pocket. The 1995p Kennedy half dollar might look ordinary, but hidden within it is the potential for extraordinary wealth. And by the end of this video you will know the full story of how a 50-cent coin became worth $881,000 in today's market.